Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And bringing up the stern of the boat today, I'm Rayford Brown.
Good morning.
TGIF.
TGI. I wonder where that got started.
I don't know. About the same place where
That
Going
70s
Postal did.
movie.
What 70s movie?
Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
just guessing. I'm just throwing that out there. But
I
yeah,
guess it's another one I missed,
I
right?
thought I was learning something new.
yeah.
I'm
There's a
just
movie.
guessing.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it
there's even a
sounds-
song.
It
Now I'm
sounds
singing
about
it in my
right.
head. Why did you even ask that, Rayford?
Oh, here
I
we
hate
go.
you right now.
Oh, my.
Now it's in
I
my
didn't do it.
head.
You
Not
want to
my
sing a
fault.
line or two
It's
for
that
us?
disco song.
It's not my fault. Tried not to do it, but y'all forced
You
me.
know that song. Yeah, Lee knows the song. Yeah, we're over here singing it now.
Well, go ahead and sing it. I want to
No,
hear
we're
something.
not doing it.
Yeah,
No,
so
I
just
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 sang it to
try
her.
something so I'll know what
Mhm.
you're talking about.
I'll play it on my phone.
Oh, I don't want to hear it on your phone.
Yeah. So what's
The,
new in the news world?
A lot of
okay.
things.
Mhm.
We, I'm still trying to find. Robbie and I spent probably an hour and a half last night searching every movie possibility from the multitude of access that we have
Mm-hmm.
for the American blackout.
You have to buy it on DVD.
I know. That's the only way.
Mhm.
I will tell you that Disney Plus on their website says if you join Disney Plus, you can watch it there. And if you join Disney Plus and go to search the movie, it's not there.
I know we are members of Disney Plus, and no, it is not there.
No, it's not.
Well, Rayford, I let Lee borrow my DVD, and when
This
she's
is-
done, we'll let you borrow
That's
it.
right.
You need to
Okay,
watch it.
that's
Yeah,
fine. Can I? I should be able to download that thing.
I got
Right.
it off Amazon, so probably.
Well, I went on Amazon. There's not a download.
So you just have to buy
available.
it.
You have to buy the
Yeah.
DVD.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
talking about if once you give me the DVD,
Yeah,
I could
absolutely. Yeah,
I
just
could
make a
move the
copy
file
of it.
over very quickly.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Yeah,
I've got to hook my CD player back up.
I had somebody message me that had gotten it. They had remembered I had told them before to got it, and they're like, they heard us yesterday, and like, oh yeah, and they dug it out, and last night they're like, holy cow! I said, I told you.
Yeah, it's
They're like, this was very interesting. I said, yes, because it really tells how how quickly society breaks down and what happens, and even neighbor turning on neighbor. It's very eye opening.
yep.
Yeah,
We got a lot of that. A lot of that is a possibility, and
Yeah.
we need to pay attention to it. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So,
we do.
Anyway, any good news in the making today? I got some.
Go with it.
Do it.
Well, first of all, coming up right after Live and Local this morning at 9 o'clock, Sports Talk with Chris Rayner. His guest will be Ken Lovell with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. That should be interesting.
Very much.
And as a reminder, East Duplin's football team won last weekend's playoff game.
Yes, they did. It was
They
good.
advanced to the state's 2A football championship game with Reedsville tomorrow. Freedom 97.1 and 11:20 a.m. will be covering that game from Chapel Hill live and in color with pregame coverage beginning at 10:30. The kickoffs at 11. You'll be able to catch all the action on freedom971.com, as well as a variety of radio apps, including the one I use, Simple Radio. This and always the Golden Corral post-game show right after the final whistle. Best of luck to the East Duplin Panthers Saturday from the Live and Local Real Talk team. If you want to go to the game, drive on over to Chapel Hill. It's a fairly easy drive, particularly if you're in the Kenansville area, Beulahville, or up you part way there already. It's at Kenan Stadium. I'd get there early, but it's at Kenan Stadium, and the kickoff again is at 11 o'clock.
Now, I'm going to tell you what, I listened to that game last Friday night. That was a good game. It was a nail biter right down to the end.
Yeah. Well, I caught little bits and pieces of it, but I was trying to do some other stuff here for our little bit of work here, trying to get this little stuff set up that I've got going in here. So we'll be able to hit up on a lot of stuff here soon. Do have some more news. Back on Thanksgiving Day, an Onslow County Deputy Sheriff was trying to pull over a car in the Hubert area for traffic offenses. During the traffic stop, the deputy shot and killed the driver. She's identified that now as 42-year-old Sunshine Foy. That's the name that she's given, and that's the name she's using. Sheriff Chris Thomas said that she had a pistol in the car. The investigation was immediately turned over to the State Bureau of Investigation, standard procedure for an officer-involved shooting. The details of the SBI report will be turned over to the District Attorney, Ernie Lee, to determine whether lethal force was justified. The unidentified deputy remains on administrative leave, also standard procedure, pending the outcome of the investigation. The woman, well, let's just say, without blasting her, she is dead. She has a very lengthy arrest and prison record in North Carolina, from DWI to drug possession, a host of worthless check charges, a bunch of those, identity theft, driving with a revoked license. That length is extremely long. So sorry that the deputy had to go through it, and I'm so sorry for the woman. She obviously lived a very troubled life. And it's a shame that it had to end up like it did.
Yeah, we talked about her a couple months ago,
Yeah.
about when
So-
she was with her daughter and she ran a police roadblock.
Yeah, we did. And I had some dealings with that name somewhere in the past, the recent past, the last few years, when I was running some stuff too. I don't know what it, can't remember now what it was all about, but it was in the Hubert and Maysville areas. So we'll see. In a second officer-involved shooting last month in the county, it's expected that the DA will have an SBI report involving the shooting that left a high school teenager dead. Police have not identified the teen, but WITN News is reporting that he's 17-year-old Jorge Miguel Lopez. Police saw a car on Western Boulevard passing other cars in the center turn lane. I see that so often. Please don't do that. That turn lane is for turning. It's not for passing other cars just because you think you got a passing zone there. They gave chase to the car. The chase ended when the car crashed on White Street. The police officer exchanged gunfire with one or more occupants of the car. Just a short distance from the crash, Lopez was struck and was pronounced dead at the Naval Hospital Trauma Center. I'm like, what a freaking waste. Why are you doing that? Is life so unprecious to you that you risk something like that? Just passing the cars in a no passing zone, in a turn lane, that in itself is taking your life and risking the lives of many others. It's just horrendous the way people do.
No regard anymore. No
No.
respect, no regard for others.
No, when you get out there and drive on the highway, I find it every day. Well, I don't now because I'm not driving, but every day that I'm on the road, it's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad.
What kind of people are out there and why? I get on the bypass when I'm headed out to like Wilmington or down to over to Richlands or, in points in that direction. And on my way to the bypass, well, I'm on the bypass, but before I even get to the bridge, I'm running 55, 56, 57. And the speed limit has been increased to 60, but seldom can I run 60 and feel comfortable with it, to be honest with you.
Oh, I agree.
Because of the traffic. There's no
Oh,
traffic out there, different story. But because of the traffic, at whatever time I seem to get there, the traffic is heavy. And there I have cars. I'm in the right lane. I've got cars zigzagging from the center lane to the right lane, back to the center lane when they pass a car that they think is moving too slowly in the left lane, not center lane. But they zigzag it back and forth. And, having been through that radar school many years ago, I can estimate speed with the best of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
they'll
cars
blow
are
you.
running
they'll-
70,
they'll
80
blow you
miles an
away.
They'll
hour.
pass you like you're standing still. What are you talking about? Yeah.
70 or 80 miles per hour is what many of these vehicles are doing. I know Jacksonville PD sets up from time to time. They will
quite
use that
often.
as
Mhm.
a good location to go out and start grabbing a bunch of tickets. That's not what they're there for. Hopefully, the people will pay attention when they see the blue lights on with a car pulled over and say, "Oh, whew, that could have been me." But you know what? It doesn't slow them down. As soon as they get past that set of blue lights, there they go again, wide open. I don't know. I don't
They'll
know
get
what
right
it's
on
just
your bumper
dangerous.
too.
Yeah, they
They'll come
do.
up on you and get right on your bumper and ride your bumper like, oh, what do they want me to do? Pull off the road?
Yeah.
No, I'm not pulling over and I'm not
Good
speeding up.
Lord.
Mm-mm.
If you hit me, that's going to be on you.
Mm-hmm.
If you hurt somebody in my vehicle, it's not going to be pretty.
Oh, I mean, a lot of times I got my grandson in the car.
It's
Let
not going to
somebody
be
try to
pretty.
be that stupid because I will
Uh,
tell you what, I do have weapons in my car. So I will fight somebody in the street. They hurt my grandchild now. I'm going to tell you that.
Well,
I will go ahead and go on record as saying that.
Absolutely.
it's going to be a case of the whoop ass. Let's
People
just
will
put it
be
that way.
filming that. I'll be on a YouTube video somewhere or on the the news. WITN will have this video, this crazy woman, because I'm not going to let anybody harm my grandson.
Yeah, I got that. I
Not
understand
happening.
that totally.
Yeah.
We've got coming up this morning in about 20 minutes, a little
Mhm.
less than 20 minutes. We've got a couple of county commissioners in.
Yes, we
Uh,
do.
We've got Tim Foster, who was
Mhm.
chosen earlier this week as the chairman of the county commission. And we've got vice chairman, Robin Knapp. He was vice chairman before, so he's serving a second term as vice chief, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that should be an interesting conversation this morning. And they got some talk about some really big shoes to fill now.
Yep.
After yesterday's interview with Jack Bright in here, wow,
I don't even know what to say about that, Ray.
wow, there've got to be people with some like, what in the world happened to Jack? Well,
Mhm.
Jack's unchained. When you're in public life, even when you're in law enforcement, there are certain things you cannot do. There are a lot more you cannot do, or lots of things you cannot say than there are when you don't have that Miranda card or badge anymore, or when you are not in public life.
That's right.
Duh. And Jack now has come out, and he is. It was refreshing to see. This is the Jack that I knew many years ago.
Mhm.
Oh, it's an excellent interview. Excellent.
The boy done good, and I appreciated it. His candor. We don't often get that,
Right.
but he was got nothing to lose, so he can say what he
He
wants
can
to
say what he
say.
wants to now.
Well, sometimes
that
when
was
you're in a position, you're restricted to things that you can actually say that
True.
oh
maybe
yeah.
people need to know, but you're restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And now he can
Once
tell
you
it
out of
like it
that,
is.
he can let it rip, and
That's
he
right.
did. Good
Well,
gracious.
he had a
Oh
great
my.
start yesterday.
Yeah.
He certainly came on strong, and I appreciate it. I love people who are straight up honest and forthright, and he did it.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So I
Yeah,
appreciate
it was very pleasant, a very refreshing interview,
it.
and
It was.
I hold a lot of respect for Jack. I really do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So do I. Also coming up this morning, after we have the commissioners in house during the 8 o'clock hour, about 20 minutes after or so, we're going to be having a chat with Hans Miller,
Oh,
Mhm.
retired sheriff here of Onslow County, served 2 terms, chose not to run again. And from information that Hans had shared with me earlier, he was giving a serious thought to running in 2024 for a county commission seat because that's when the next one would be up.
right.
Now, last week he told me after Jack's announced resignation from the board that yes, he is going to seek to have his name put in the pot, and hopefully the Republican Executive Committee in his mind will choose him to replace Jack Bright. That's what his goal is now. So he'll come on today to talk to us. It's not like we don't know what his qualifications are. As sheriff of Onslow County,
Yes.
he's been fairly open, fairly transparent about that. So there's not many people in Onslow County that do not know what that is. There is a problem. There's what is that? They call that a hitch in your giddy up,
Yeah.
A hitch.
whatever it is. The Republican Executive Committee, they got kind of like 2 ways to go. One, they can do as they have done in the past, go back to the primary, the last primary, which was back in May, and they can pick the top vote getter that did not get elected.
Mhm.
The top vote getter that did not get elected. And
Which would be
in this
Mark.
case, Mark Price did not get the nomination. He's a former county commissioner. He was a sitting county commissioner at the time, and he didn't have enough votes. He was not far behind, but he just didn't have enough votes to stay in office. And then they can put him in, or they can open it up to any Republican who's qualified.
There you go, Kelly.
Yeah.
Any Republican who's qualified to serve, and if they can find somebody who would want to take on that job to fill the unexpired term. Now it's not a 4-year term, and it's not your term;
That's
it's the
right.
unexpired term of. I don't know, Lee, what kind of questions would they be asking? In either case, I'm sure, like with the case with the highest vote getter, they would first of all, I assume, ask, "Hey, do you want to serve?" That would
Right.
be number
Well,
one.
I know that Mark Price has been contacted, and he's already stated that he's very interested in
Okay.
serving that vacant seat. So
And
he's
then
in.
the second question that if I was in their shoes, I would ask, will you run for election once this term ends? Not your term, once Jack
Right.
Bright's term ends, would you run for election? Not re-election, but would you run for election?
Right.
I'm assuming that as Republicans, they would not want somebody who is not interested in running again.
Understand that because you put a lot of time and investment into that person, and you
Yep.
want to know that they're going to be there.
Okay, you've been a part of the executive committee, but is that the way it
Yes.
would work? Would they ask that question?
Well, what generally happened, like in 2019, when we voted to replace William Shanahan because he won a judge seat, what we did was we opened it up to everyone. As
Mhm.
you know, there was other people in the county that were interested. There was the ones that had run in the primary and had not secured a seat. They were all part of it. So we had, I think, 6 or 7 people put in for it. So what they more or less did was they wrote up a bio and a reason why they wanted the seat, etc. We sent it out to everyone so they would have it in advance. And when we came into the meeting, each person was allowed to stand up and talk, and people were allowed to ask questions.
So, how many people volunteered or showed interest in it last time countywide? Do you remember?
For the county commissioner,
Yeah.
it was about 6 or 7 people that showed interest in putting
Oh,
in a application for it. There were some that were, and maybe we had one that has served as a commissioner in Swansboro at one time.
okay. I remember that.
We had oh, I think 4. I'd have to sit down and think that ran for commissioner in 2020 and did not, secure the election, the seat. So they all threw their names back in, and there was another gentleman that was interested in it. I think he's a realtor. He threw his name in the hat. But it all came down to just 2 particular people in the end that were taking most of the votes, and we had to vote like 3 times in order
Oh,
to,
my.
because
Okay.
it kept tying. Everything kept tying. And
Okay.
then, the room did a caucus. That's where people would go around and talk to other people and say, "Hey, the reason why you should vote for this person is blah, blah, blah." And so a couple votes were people changed their mind, and Mark Price was the winner at that time.
Okay. Now, I understand that in these meetings, since it is a Republican Party meeting or executive party meeting, which is
Right.
not all of the Republicans in Onslow County,
Right.
it's about 60 or so? I can't remember,
Yeah, I would say
plus or
probably
minus.
60 to 65 plus or minus, because there's going to be some people that won't be eligible to vote because they haven't been attending the meetings and
Yeah,
not asked for an excused absence. So if that's the case, then you're not eligible to vote because you have to be at the meetings. And so, and then you'll have people that might be out of town for the Christmas holidays, et cetera, et
sure.
cetera. I know that they'll vote on the procedure this coming Monday night, and if they choose to open it in the public to the public, then they've got to give people notification and give them time to get in their paperwork. And I know if that's the case, then their next meeting will be December 29th. Now, I know they said the deadline for the party to submit a recommendation is January 2nd.
Yeah.
Jack Bright resigned on December 2nd. If you count 30 calendar days from that time, it's December 31st. So I think they need to take a look at that, because I think if they wait till January 2nd, they may find out that county might not accept the recommendation.
That's
Oh,
true.
well,
Yeah. And that means
I
the county
I
can
would
pick their own
That's right.
person. Yeah.
I
Yes.
know some teachers, and I also have a calendar over here. We can print it out, and you can just start counting. 1, 2. I can get all the way to 30.
Well, what made me first think about it was December's got 31 days in it. It's not a
Mhm.
30-day month. And
Mhm.
so
That's
then if you count the actual day of the retirement, that's actually adding a day. I mean, into your 30-day count. So actually December 31st will be the 30th day.
okay. So, if there's any member, or if there are any members, or Melinda hires the executive committee chair, or
Mhm.
not the executive committee, the GOP chair here in Onslow County. If you're listening, or you have access to these individuals, you may want to say, let's don't get too close to the wire here, because
Yeah, that's the only thing that worries me, because if they decide to open it up to the public and then they have that meeting on the 29th, more than likely things will go great and smooth, but you always taking a chance at what if. So,
well, let me give you a what if. 1989, 15 inches of snowfall.
oh,
Nothing
yes.
moved beyond Christmas
Mhm.
for quite some time.
Right.
That's a what if. Uh-oh. It was also very warm leading up to Christmas that year.
Well,
just
I
before
remember.
Christmas.
I was a station manager for the post office. I remember
Wearing
that.
short
Oh, I
wearing
remember it
short
well.
sleeve shirts the 1st of December, and then all of a sudden along comes something to drop the temperature on Christmas morning to an official 0 at the Weather Bureau, at the weather station at the New Hanover County Airport. At that time, I was up and working that Christmas morning. I know it full well. The record still stands today. The lowest ever in Wilmington since they were started recording temperatures was on Christmas morning, 1989. It was
Wow.
0.
Oh, I
Enough
definitely
said.
remember that snowstorm
Mhm.
well.
All
And
right,
then,
better take a break, ladies.
yes, let's do that.
Do it.
All right. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Weather is next, and then we'll have a couple of county commissioners joining us. Stay tuned for that. And I got to call out Jeff and Jerry, the guys over there, Jeff and Jerry Allen at Great Gas and the Whizmarts. I want one of them Whizmart things out there with a Cappy's chicken. I want it out here at Pumpkin Center.
Oh, yes.
I need it. They got some of the best chicken in the world. That would be so good. Okay, I digress a little bit. Tideline Marine and Company right here in Jacksonville, family owned, also owned by a veteran. They've been in business for 3 years. They bought the business out. It's been in business for over a half century, but they bought it out about 3 years ago, just celebrated the 3rd anniversary, and they're still continuing to serve the Onslow County community. Great work on boats, motors, Mercury's, Mercruiser, inboard, outboards, and you got Yamahas and the Evinrude Johnson line. Even though Evinrude is out of business as far as making motors, they're still building parts for all the motors that they've put together for the last, 70 years, 75 years. So we still get parts. Tideline Marine still gets parts that they can use to repair your boats, and parts that you can buy if you want to do your own work. Not a problem. They sell it to you at normal prices. And one of the things that happens, a lot of people will say, kind of like I've done twice now, that old motor is just not worth me repairing. I want something a little bit more modern. My boat's fine. I don't need to trade that in. I've done it twice now for 2 different boats that I've had down at Tideline, and I bought new motors to go on them. Hello, Tideline will take care of getting the motors, the right ones for your boat that match it up, and also installing them. There's a lot of work to installing a motor. It's not just throw it on the back end and take off. Those maybe a 4 or 5 horsepower, but something up bigger. You're going to want somebody professional to do that. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street, on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville.
And we have a small craft advisory in effect through Tuesday evening. Today, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet, dominant period 7 seconds. Tonight, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet, dominant period 14 seconds. And Saturday, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 25 knots, seas 5 to 7 feet.
A little choppy out there.
Very choppy.
Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 58. Little gusty with gusts as high as 15 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 57. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 41. And on Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 57. So chilly.
Yep, a little chilly.
Yes. And in the studio, we have 2 guests, Rayford.
Hey, I better know who they are.
Yes, you do. All right, we have chairman of the commissioners, Tim Foster, and we have vice chairman, Robin Knapp.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, y'all, what's up?
Cold.
Cold. I told you it's like a wintry blast out there all of a sudden.
It's 57 degrees. What y'all gonna do when it gets cold?
It's TGIF from what I understand.
Yes,
coming in this
it
morning.
is. TGIF, that's right.
Yeah, get you guys to belly up to the bar, actually the microphones this morning,
Right.
so we can hear, so everybody can hear what you got to say. First of all, congratulations, Tim, for
Uh,
securing the bid to be chairman.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I think.
Good qualification there. I appreciate that. Should be an interesting time. You got anything special in mind to start off the year with? You coming up pretty much wrapped up whatever year this is, 2022. I know you guys have got a big budget to plan, and I hope you were paying attention for the last 4 years.
That's the truth. We will get kicked off after the end of the year and start moving into some budget workshops and things. And one of the first things Robin and I talked a little bit about this yesterday. He and I talk quite often, and one of the things that we're going to add to the agenda, starting with the morning meetings at 11 o'clock, is we're going to bring our department heads or directors into our meetings, and each month 2 of them are going to present for 5 minutes of what they do for Onslow County and the services they provide. And discussions I've had with some of the other commissioners, it's a great opportunity for us to be transparent with what we provide and services are provided to the citizens. And we're looking forward to hearing what they do, and for the citizens to have the opportunity to hear what services are provided straight from the director's mouth.
Well, that would be good. I'm sure that
Yes.
a lot of people around here who have never heard, what is it, 27 departments that are in the county?
Yes,
It's a lot.
And I know a lot of people have never heard from any of them. So
that's right.
This-
Quite
this should
often
be-
you hear them ask, what do county commissioners do, or what does the county do or the government do for me? And I think over the next year, they're going to hear what each of those departments and services they provide. We're looking forward to hearing that.
One of the things that we're doing also too is that to let everybody know that during this session, the commissioner is going to be present. It's not a time for questions or answers or to probe or anything like that. It's for the department heads to give a briefing. The commissioners are going to hold our comments. We'll take notes, and if we have any questions, we'll save it for another time at a workshop or one-on-one meetings, because that won't be the time or place to ask questions. We just want an overall brief, not only for ourselves but for the citizens as well.
Well, beginning during that budget time, you're also going to have, you have one now, possibly two brand new county commissioners who have never been through the budget process before. So that's also a possibility, right? They need to get educated.
Absolutely. Be drinking water through a fire hose, and I think the chairmanship's going to be the same way. But the opportunity is fantastic, and working with Robin is going to be great. He and I, over the last 4 years, have gotten to know each other real well. We knew each other before and talked a little bit, but over the last 4 years, we've done a lot of talking with each other. And despite me being a Tar Heel fan and him being a Seminole fan, we still managed.
We have to hear that
we
every
still
meeting.
managed to work together. And the great thing about that is that he and I do not agree on everything, but we do and can talk and work through things. And once we finish having that conversation, we can go break bread together, and there's not an issue. And we can hear each other's ideas and then work those ideas into what's going to be best for Onslow County.
Yeah, I mean, we go back and forth, we go back and forth with not just joking around, but we talk about issues and we talk about things. We try to get ahead of the curve when we foresee a particular issue coming down the road, and that's important. And we can talk about it. Like I said, like Tim said, for 4 years, we've known each other. We've become close friends. We work well together. We joke around. But at the bottom line is, if we disagree with something, he's willing to listen to me. I'm willing to listen to him, and vice versa throughout the board. And that's the way it should be.
I can help you out with some common ground.
Well, yeah. And, when you become a commissioner, a lot of people don't understand that it takes 4 of you, a minimum of 4 of you on the board to get something passed or to get something through our meetings. And when you come on the board, you have to be flexible. Be setting your morals and your principles and what you believe in, but, be willing to listen to the other side or other people and see where they're coming from. Because, the old saying is, if you can convince me and give me some information, then you just might win me over.
There you go.
That's right.
The budget next year, I'm assuming you have a mandate with the county manager, no tax increase.
Oh yeah.
Let's just put it
Headphones
out
are
there.
going off, but I do not foresee a tax increase coming to the citizens of Onslow County. I think Robin and I can agree on
Is my
that.
forehead bleeding? I took a shot right there.
Rayford's firing from the bunker. We appreciate that, Rayford. But whatever we are going to do in the next budget cycle is going to have to fall within the current spending. I think some of the priorities that we'll be looking at, and Robin and I have not even discussed coming in here other than we'd both be here this morning. So everything we're sharing now is just coming from us right now. But we want to make sure that each of the departments are staffed to the ability that we're not overworking our people and that we're providing quality services, and make sure we have employees. Of course, the answer to that is going to be finding the employees. Right now, finding
Right.
folks to put them to work is a tough thing, even with the increase with the 10% increase in pay with the COLA last year. That was an opportunity to retain the employees we have and recruit those that are not with us yet. So we're hoping that if we do increase some employment opportunities, we'll be able to find people to come in and provide the services and the work ethic that Onslow County deserves.
And that's
Gentlemen, I do not understand. I really do not understand. uh, people, is it just that people overall do not want to work? You guys have got some great benefits there. You've got some great opportunities. So either you're the worst employers in the world or something is going on
Whoa.
behind the scenes.
Well, no, I don't think that's the case at all. I mean, the bottom line is that, we have to deal with a lot of issues as commissioners. We have to deal with a lot of issues with our county. We got some of the best people in the country, and I believe that. We've got a terrific county manager, assistant county
Absolutely.
managers, and and people don't understand the process. And Onslow County is a big type of corporation, so to speak. But it's a government entity, so you have department heads. We trust those department heads to run their particular department within our guidelines, within the statutes. We have a county manager who ensures that and keeps us informed as commissioners, so to speak. Basically the commissioners are kind of like the mayors of Onslow County. We have good people. The reason why people don't, in my opinion, don't want to come and work for a government entity or anything, despite the benefits, is that the whole outlook on jobs and work ethic has changed over the last, I guess, decade.
Yes,
We're in a
it
different
has.
generation. We have people that are there that have been there for the longest time, 20, 30, 40 years. And they grew up during a time where, they believed in working hard and working for a cause. And we still have people out there, but for the most part, a lot of people are just, I'll just say it, they're lazy. They want things handed to them.
It's just a major generational
Yeah.
shift, that the work ethic, the four of us and yourself, we grew up with, and the work ethic we saw of our parents, I'm not sure that is there anymore. And we've enabled some of that over the last few years
Yes.
with COVID, and it's just made things worse. And I think that's across the board. Even when I was working in the school system years ago, when we'd have an application or a position open up, we'd get 25 or 30 applicants. And when we retired, I was getting 3 or 4 applicants, and that thing makes things tough. And hopefully we'll swing back. That pendulum will swing back to where people want to get back in the workforce and be a part of society. And Onslow County is, like Robin said, we got some fantastic people that are doing some
Absolutely.
really good things and working really hard. And I think he did a good job of letting us know is that our directors and our supervisors and our managers and assistant managers, those folks are the ones that have their finger on the pulse and the day-to-day operations of the business. And we're there to provide guidance to make decisions that come along and just the vision of where we want the budget to go.
Mhm.
But once that's all established, we've got people in place that are there to do that job and let us know if they need anything. And then if there's stuff that they're not doing, then our county manager does a great job of addressing that. And she's put some good people in place. And I'm looking forward to some of the vision that she has over the next year and some of the things that Robin wants to accomplish. And we want to hear what each commissioner wants to do. What are some things that they would like to see Onslow County be a part of? And I think there's a few things Robin and I really agree on, and we're looking forward to trying to bring those things to fruition.
Absolutely.
May I say something about your county manager?
Yes, you will anyway.
Do we have a choice?
Yeah, is there a choice
Oh,
there?
yeah, you do. You can say no, but God, that doesn't mean I'm going to shut up. Right after she became county manager, at a time that was like one of the worst times in the world to take over a slot like that, I had her in the studio, and I had a chance to meet her for the first time. I had probably gained more respect for one individual in county government than in any person in my multitude of multi-generations, multi-decades of dealing with managers of all levels, county, city, and otherwise, than anybody I've ever dealt with. She was, without a doubt, at that point in time, as soon as I hung up, I called the chairman, said, do not let her get away. If there is any, and I realize that there's always going to be some people that just like, well, I can't control her. So she needs to go. We need to find somebody that I can put my finger on, and he or she can be at my beck and call.
Here's the thing about that. Yeah, and I'm going to.
Am I right or what?
No, you're right. I'm gonna touch on that because that's a pet peeve of mine, because I get tired of hearing people saying certain things about this or that. Let me say something. as a commissioner during Hurricane Florence, I watched this particular person. I watched Sharon at the EOC sacrifice so much with along with our other employees. While she was there, her house got washed away by the storm, and she
Wow.
stayed there. She stayed. She lost everything. Okay, people don't understand that. I've never seen a person more calm and held her own. And she actually literally put the county first and all the concerns of the county and other people before she thought about herself. We had to basically tell her, go home, go take care of what you need to do. And secondly, commissioners, the public, it doesn't matter who you are. Our job is not to control the county manager, period. That's not what we do. The county manager is a part of our team. And you notice I emphasize the phrase our team. That's the county. That's the commissioners. It's not our job to tell her what to do and how to do it. That's what she gets paid for. That's what she's trained for. I mean, she's a very articulate, intelligent woman. And there are times when her and I have talked and we disagree on certain things. And she looks at me and she goes, well, it's going to be up to the commissioners, but this is how I feel we should do certain things. And when she does that, I take heart to that. I listen to what she has to say because she's coming from the sense that she's trying to do what's best for the county. And, commissioners are there to work as a group. We have 7 commissioners, but we act as one as a board. That's our purpose. We act as one for the betterment of the county. And the county manager is a part of that process. We don't dictate to her or she does not dictate to us. It's a team effort. And I applaud her for sticking around. We made the right choice, the absolute best choice when we selected her as our county manager. She's done a fantastic job. And quite frankly, I can't say enough about her. She's just wonderful.
Very good.
I have
Better
to
take a
agree.
break, guys.
Yes. Oh, break
You're live
time.
and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back.
Rayford, you there?
We're back.
Okay. Yep, we are.
Live and local.
I
Real
guess
talk.
At least live.
No, at least local.
I did try and research that TGIF as I was sitting out in the parking
Oh.
lot, and it goes way back. I mean,
Does it?
there's some conversations of back into the Britishism, and then the
No
guy that
way.
opened up the TGIF, the first one. I mean, it's back into the 30s and
Wait a minute.
early 40s. It was kind of crazy. And the last thing that I heard coming in, and maybe I shouldn't have mentioned this, but you talked about news today, and y'all may have said it and I missed it, but cinema.
We haven't
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about that. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
I gotta backtrack here. You just made up a word, and
Go ahead.
I'm fascinated.
which one of my southern words was it?
It wasn't Southern. It was Britishism.
Britishism. That's I learned that on the.
That is not a word.
It
It
is
was
a
I
word.
googled and it was
It
there.
is.
Britishism.
It is.
Robin
Yeah.
is the English police, so he thinks.
If it comes out of Great Britain, it could be anything.
That's the truth. That's the-
And make it
the
up as you
truth.
go along. We
Yeah.
know that.
Well, I have a question. What do you foresee as the most important thing on the agenda right now for the county commissioners?
Most important agenda item is, I think I alluded to it a little bit. Is maybe a priority is going to be staffing. Staffing really will direct the success of all the things that you are doing.
Right.
And then one of the things that I'm very interested in, and so I think all the commissioners are, we've talked to it to a certain extent, is how are we going to do it, is eventually a partnership with the city and maybe another private organization, if that's where it comes about, is we'd love to see them. And I talked about this before the election, is a multi-sports complex. But there's a lot that's going to go into that, and to bring that to fruition, there's a lot of work that will have to be done. But really, with our growth, I think the staffing is going to be real important to make sure we get people in place to do the things we need to do. Robin?
Yeah, I agree. I think Tim and I and the majority of other commissioners, especially Commissioner Buchanan, we're looking forward to a multi-sport complex of some sort. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take moving parts from different elements of this community, whether it be the government, private entity, the city, et cetera. And it's something that we're focused in on. But at the same time, and I'll say it again, we're also focused in on our budget as well.
Yes.
That's our biggest priority right now. And we'll have a workshop where we'll outline our 5, maybe 6 goals as we did last year. Then the county manager will take those goals and framework her objectives and how she approaches it and how her staff's going to approach it. And then from there, it's one step at a time. But we got a long process. It's starting in January, and it's going to go all the way through June.
Well, I have a question, but I know we need to go to a break. So I'm going to pose you the question and then we'll go into our 50-hour break. Someone asked me, what is the status of that developer that was coming in and building the building there in Burton Park?
Trask.
Trask, yeah.
Yes. Someone asked me what the status of that development is. So let's take a quick break. And then when you come back, you can explain, because the person that asked me is listening. So they would like to know. All right. We're live and local, Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
I gotta quit.
All right, Rayford, we're back.
We are back, and you guys got a couple more questions before the next break.
Well, I do have the answer. What's the status with the Trask development?
Yes, they they're not to the building phase yet. They have just about got that medical facility filled with providers, and they're also looking to get the across the street from it is also going to be room for some drive-through restaurants, and they're really looking for and would love to have a local restaurant or business here in town to go into that. So
Yay.
if there's anybody
Yes.
out there locally that is interested in going out to Burton Park and going into a restaurant there, just reach out to Miss Griffin over at the county government center and let her know of their interest, and they will be able to get them in contact with Mr. Trask, who is putting this development together out there.
That would make a fortune for somebody.
Yes,
So that'd
yes.
be definitely a good investment for someone that's wanting to invest some money. I mean,
We're-
that's going
we're
to be a
sitting
very
here.
profitable business.
Yes, we're
yeah.
sitting there already. We want the kettle to go out there.
Yeah, Lee wants them to put a kettle with the
Yes.
drive-through.
And if
I want a
anybody's
seafood restaurant.
if anybody's
there you go.
listening and is interested, there's a lot of property out at Burton Park that we would love to see commercialized and put into the hands of somebody other than the government,
Yes.
and get that bit instead of industrial park. The section we're referring to, we'd really see it become a commercial park and really get some business out there.
Yeah,
Well, the Top Golf out there.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
I'm
sense-
telling you, Top Golf.
I can see, something like what they did at Mayfair down in Wilmington, something like that. Even if you go down to 258, if you go down to 258 where the new Walmart is and the Lowe's are located, you see all the little shops in there.
Yes.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like a mini Wayfair.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. It's very, very enticing. It's very relaxing. People can go do one-stop shopping in one particular area, walk around, have a restaurant, get a medical facility. There's so much potential for that park, and we need to really develop it.
Well, I have a friend that's been wanting to bring a Top Golf, and they're an investor, and they've got all, but they need like 100,000 more. So if somebody wants to invest with them, let them know, because they've already looked into bringing a Top Golf.
That would
here. We
make-
need a Top Golf.
Oh,
I would be
yes, we
there
do.
every week. I'm telling you right
Yeah,
now.
look,
Top Golf is a lot of fun.
When you can sit
It
and eat a
is.
good dinner and hit golf balls
Hey,
for a couple
especially when
hours,
you're
Yeah.
playing against him, it's a lot of fun.
I bet I
Hey,
can only
it's
imagine how
cutthroat.
much fun it is.
It's cutthroat.
Oh, it
Yeah.
gets serious.
Look who's talking.
I love it. I'm competitive, and I'm not even good at golf. I don't care though. Like I just try. My job is to try to beat Robin at that game. So,
That's-
yeah.
It's so much fun, and he's a strange golfer. He turns sideways to hit the ball.
He hits it like he's hitting a baseball.
It's really
He swings
strange.
the club
What
like
they're
he's playing
saying, Tim,
baseball.
is if the hole is straight ahead of me,
You're hitting.
I'm a left-hander.
He's
Okay, when it
left-handed.
comes to
Oh.
golfing,
Yeah.
okay, I'm right-handed, but when it comes to golfing, so I always have a bad slice of my swing because I can never get that baseball swing out of my head.
Oh my goodness!
That's how he hits it. You need to see it.
I would love to see
I'm
him
gonna have to
bowling.
get you on the golf course one day.
No, I want to see him bowling.
Just for entertainment purposes.
I can
Tell me,
bowl.
I've got video of it. Rayford, it's top of the hour. Let's do our Fox News break.
Yeah, we're going to do a Fox News break. Come back. I've got an 800-pound gorilla in the room to discuss. How's that sound?
Okay.
You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. And we're back. It's top of the hour here, and a little bit after 8 o'clock, 8:03. Our guest in the studio right now, Onslow County Commission Chairman Tim Foster, and Vice Chairman Robin Knapp. And other than golfing, you guys got anything else in mind for the rest of the month?
Enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, let's go and enjoy the holidays.
That's right.
I'm
While you
actually
can.
gonna take a trip here in the next few days and spend some time down in Florida with my
Yeah.
wife and my youngest, and get back energized, ready to go in the first of the year with a lot of work in front of us.
There you go. There's a lot to do, I'm sure. One of the things that's coming up, and both of you gentlemen are on the Republican Executive Committee by virtue of your positions in the county, your elected positions, correct?
Yes.
Both of you will be involved in the selection of somebody to replace Jack Bright, which are big shoes to fill. But how important is it to this individual, whoever he or she may be, to be able to fit in? A lone wolf in a situation where you've got 7 county commissioners is not necessarily a good thing to have, right?
I don't think so. I think whoever comes in is selected and becomes a part of this board. We obviously want them to come on board with some ideas and thoughts that they have, but we need them to come on board to be able to convey those thoughts and what they would like to see take place, and realize that this board has to work as a unit, and good discussion, discourse. But then at the end of the day, you make decisions as a board that's going to take you forward in the best interest of the citizens. So whoever is selected, we need them to be cohesive, but at the same time, willing to share their thoughts and ideas, but also be willing to hear the thoughts and ideas of the sitting commissioners. And if we disagree, we don't walk away beating each other up. We walk away knowing that as a board, we made a decision, and then we go and we support that decision until the next item comes up, and we continue to work. So we really want someone that is, and Robin can chime in here as well, is that wants to be a part of a team. And being a part of the team doesn't mean you always agree, but you're always working for the best interest of the organization that you represent. In this case, it's 200,000 citizens in Onslow County.
Yeah,
Hey, Robin.
the thing is, though, we'll get to understand something real quick, though, before we proceed on. We can talk about this all day long. We're going to be voting on the process first.
Right.
So we need to understand that. We need to vote on the process, and whatever is voted on by the executive committee, then we move forward. We had the process. We voted on the process during the Board of Election when we had 2 people, or one in
Board of Education.
I'm sorry, Board of Education. I always get that confused. But the
Please
Board of
don't
Education.
Stress
And
out, Jason.
so we voted on a process just 2 months ago, by a majority vote, as far as the executive committee is concerned, to go with the next man up, so to speak. And we chose that process. And personally, I think we need to, in my opinion, we need to stay with that to show consistency within the GOP, and to use that as the measuring stick in terms of who is selected for the vacant position left by Jack. And if it goes the other way, I agree with Tim. If it goes the other way and we open it up to everybody and we get somebody in there that is nominated by the executive committee and they submit a name, that individual has to realize that they're one of 7 people that are stepping on a board of commissioners, and we work as one entity. And it takes, like I said earlier, it takes 4 votes by the commissioners to get something passed or get something resolved or whatever. But once that vote is done, whether you voted for it or against it, the decision's made, and we need a person that understands that will continue to work with the board, because that's over with, and they need to start looking towards the future and discussing things, and to maintain their opinions, et cetera.
And it's interesting. When I made my last walk around the school with one of the executive directors in the school system, as I walked around knowing I was leaving what I've been doing for years, I made the statement that there are things in this school that I walk past that I do not see or recognize as something that can be changed or improved. And whoever comes in behind me as principal of that school is going to see some things that I would not see, because my eyes were looking at it every day
Correct.
and never saw something.
Yeah.
and having a new set of eyes coming in to see something that we may not, because we've been looking at it one way the whole time. And that's one thing that we know that Commissioner Carpenter is going to come on board with a new set of eyes and fresh vision, is that she's going to have some thoughts and ideas that maybe we hadn't thought of, and we may look at each other and go, dude, we didn't think about that. So it's going to be good to have at least we know we're going to have one set of fresh eyes that's really going to be beneficial to the board, and we don't know what the next one will be. It could be a set of fresh eyes, or it may be a same set of eyes, but we don't know. Once that process is determined, we know where they're going, and then whatever it is, it may be a week or 2 or 3 before we know who that individual is, but we're looking forward to working together with whoever it is.
Yep.
And I say it a lot is as long as everybody's sitting at that board and not worried about the name on the back of the jersey and worried about the name on the front of the jersey, in this case, Onslow County, then we're going to be in good shape, as long as everybody understands this is a servant position working for the best interest for Onslow County and its future.
I totally agree with what he said. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what process the executive committee chooses. We just go with whatever is voted upon. And then, like Tim said, and like I've always emphasized, the person that is selected who comes to the board will bring a set of fresh eyes, a set of fresh opinions, and a different perspective than what maybe we have been looking at. And we welcome that. We welcome that type of attitude, a positive attitude. It keeps the cohesion and the flow of the board moving forward. And that's what we need. And because, I know Tim's priority, my priority, is to unify this board, to keep this board strong. We're not all going to agree on everything. I mean, Tim and I don't agree on everything, and we've discussed that. But as long as we can sit down and talk about it professionally and like adults, we can move forward and work together and get things accomplished.
Well, I have a question. As we all have seen over the last couple years, we've had a lot of breakaway groups here within the county that are trying to more or less get things done for their own self-interest. How are you going to handle these groups coming to you and trying to influence you?
That's pretty easy for me. And I've talked to Tim about this. Okay, as a commissioner, now as a vice chairman, and again, knowing Tim's personality, you can come to me with your opinions and your ideas, and you can try to influence my thoughts or the other thoughts of the commissioners. And I'm going to listen to everybody. I don't care who you are. I'm going to listen to your opinions. I'm going to listen to your ideas. My point is, don't get upset if I disagree with you. Don't get upset if I have a different idea or perception of something. And, when you come, like if you're a faction group or something like that, a splinter group, and you're starting to focus on certain things, that's not what we're about. We're about the county. And I'm a Republican, so I'm about the party as a whole, and the health of the party. And we have to stay objective. And that's the whole main reason why, as a commissioner, people have to understand, I don't represent Republicans or Democrats or individuals. I represent all the citizens of Onslow County, regardless, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, whether, you believe in this particular philosophy of life or this lifestyle, it makes no matter. You're still a citizen of this county. And that's what I'm here to do, is to serve those citizens and represent their opinions.
All right, we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
Good morning, it's Jason Dedman.
Hey, Jason, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to say good morning to Kelly and good morning to Lee, and congratulations to Tim and Robin and everyone who and Lisa that got elected. And also, like I said the other day, even if you weren't elected, no matter what you ran for, it takes a lot of courage to put your name out there for something. And most of these local positions, as I'm sure those gentlemen will agree, they're not doing it for the money. It's not a lot of money. And I wanted to thank them for being willing to do what they're doing, because I work for the county, but before that, I was born in this county, and I just want the county to succeed like they do. So I just wanted to thank everybody who is willing to serve the county, and I appreciate what everybody's doing.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And good job with the election cycle this time, my friend.
Yes.
Well, thank you. It's always one at a time, and the next one will be the municipal election. There's a pending lawsuit against the city of Jacksonville that we were named in, but we really we don't draw the wards, so I'll let the attorneys worry about that.
That's right.
But I just appreciate what y'all are doing, and as someone with 2 boys, one 16 and one 13, as a city and county taxpayer, I'm on board with the multi-sports complex because I've done a lot of traveling out of the area. So even if it comes along after my kids are beyond the age, I think it would be great for future generations and for the county going forward. So anyway, just want to tell y'all good morning, congratulations, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You
You
too.
too,
Thank you,
Jason.
Appreciate
All
it,
right.
Jason. Thank you.
All right,
Yep,
let me do
bye-bye.
the 800-pound gorilla real quick, like here, guys.
Oh, I thought we'd already done that.
If the executive committee decides to go at large to allow anybody, any Republican who's lives in the county, yada 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 yada, that's qualified to be able to serve or legally qualified to be able to serve. There's only one name that's popped up, and he's kind of volunteered. He's already expressed an interest in that position, and I'm going to have him on the air here in just a very few minutes, in about 10 minutes or less. But it's one question that came up once his name popped up last week, Tim. He's your father-in-law. Will there be a conflict of interest?
That has been shared, I think, of being a conflict of interest. As far as I'm concerned, if that happened, I would have to double down on my efforts to make sure the people of Onslow County would see that we were not doing anything that could be questioned or called into question. So if that takes place, I can assure people that I will work my butt off to be as transparent and let everybody know what's going on up front, because I don't want anyone thinking that there's something going on behind closed doors or decisions made somewhere else. So I understand where they're coming from. I can see is where that could be generated as a perception and a problem. But like I said, Tim Foster will work his backside off to ensure that the people see that he's not going to do anything that would be called into question. Is that our efforts will always be what's in the best interest of Onslow County. And the question that Robin answered earlier with the special interest groups or the splinters or the factions is, we'll hear you out. We'll listen to you, because you could very well bring a good idea that we haven't thought about. But if we disagree and we don't think that's the case because we see some other numbers or more information, we're going to try and share that with you and make a decision that's going to be in best interest of everybody. We don't want this board to make a decision what's in best interest for 3,000 people or 8,000 people. We want to make sure when you come to us with one of my first questions when someone wants to present something to the board that they say is going to be good, what's it going to do for Onslow County?
That's right.
That's the bottom line. What's it going to do for Onslow County? And if you can't give me reasons or give us reasons of why it's going to be a good thing for Onslow County, then that's not something we need to do if it's not good for Onslow County.
That's
Well, I
right.
think it's good that you guys have the philosophy that you're there to serve everyone,
Everyone.
not just whatever political party or, that you are registered under, because
Right.
that is not what public service is.
No,
That's
that's right. And
That's
let
correct.
me, the thing is too, and I'm pretty adamant about it because, we're commissioners, we're sitting commissioners. We happen to be Republican. That's the way I look at it. We're commissioners that happen to be part of the Republican Party. But when we took that oath, you said it right. We serve the community. As a law enforcement officer, after 25 years, I didn't, go out and say, I'm not going to serve you because of this or that reason or whatever. You served everybody, no matter who it was. And you were fair across the board, tried to be fair across the board, no matter who you are. But at the same time, sometimes certain factions, certain groups try to get the particular person that they want, that they can get on the board to control or whatever it might be. Like a puppet. And
Right.
the thing is, that's not going to happen with us because if you have something that you want to say to me, you have an opinion. If I agree, I agree. If I disagree, just let it be known that, I will tell you if I disagree, but I'll do it in a professional manner. So, we have to stay objective, and we have to maintain our focus of serving all of the public.
That's right.
Not just a particular group.
We have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
Okay.
Well, we lost our call. They hung up.
Maybe a
Call
It's
little.
her
about your
back.
car
Hold on, they're
warranty.
calling back.
We gotta take a break here too, guys. And then Tim, Robin,
Um,
thank you both for coming in.
Rayford, real quick, we got the caller back on. Caller, good morning. Who's this? Hello? Can you hear us?
Caller, turn your radio off.
Hello, can you hear us? Yeah. Okay.
Callers, anybody calling in, please turn your radio, your internet, anything else off and listen only to your telephone. It will be picking up the signal coming from our board. Everything else is delayed and you won't be able to get on the air. Okay.
Hey, before we leave, I just want to say one thing. First of all, congratulations, Tim.
Yes.
Congratulations
You as well.
And congratulations to Lisa Carpenter as our
Yes.
new commissioner.
Yes.
And to the rest of the board. And I want to thank the public and I want to thank my board members personally for showing support in me. And before I leave, though, I do also want to make mention of one thing. And I was glad to hear Jack on the radio yesterday. And I know Jack is listening to the show. I just want to thank Jack publicly on the radio for everything that he's done for the last 6 years and his mentorship. There are times that we did not agree on certain things, but we never yelled at each other, raised our voices. We sat down and talked about it professionally. And Jack, if you're listening, I wish you the best. I wish you the best in your health with your family. And I just wanted to personally tell you, thank you so much for everything that you've done for Onslow County and for myself. And we'll be in touch with that most definitely.
Very
Absolutely.
nice.
I just reiterate what Robin said and thank Jack for what he's done and what he's meant to Onslow County. And at the same time, as a congratulations to Robin for being selected as vice chair. And I appreciate their confidence in me and selecting me as their chair. And I look forward to working with Robin and this board as we move forward. And as he said, congratulations to Commissioner Lisa Carpenter. Worked hard in her campaign and is on now the commissioner with us. And we are looking forward to some of the thoughts and ideas that she has and the fresh vision and outlook that she's going to have on things and moving this board forward, working for the best interest of the 200,000 plus citizens of Onslow County.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both. Thank you so much for coming in today.
I
Thank you.
appreciate the
We
invite.
appreciate it. And we anticipate many more sessions like this.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
let's take a
Yeah.
break. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. Weather is next. Am I getting through?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
we
Yes,
go.
you are.
Yeah.
I thought I was missing something. Tideline
No.
Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. 3 bay boats, AquaSport bay boats in stock for you. Remember that they're on sale right now. If you buy between now and Christmas, $5,000 off on any one of those 3 boats. And if you buy between now and Christmas and tell George, I want that sucker delivered to my driveway for Christmas morning. Can you drop it off on Christmas Eve? You know, kind of like play Santa Claus. He will do it as long as you live within about 30 miles of Tideline Marine. He'll even put a big old red bow around it if you like. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in Jacksonville.
And we have a small craft advisory in effect through Tuesday evening. Today, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet. Tonight, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 25 feet, seas 5 to 8 feet. Saturday, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 25 knots, seas 5 to 7 feet.
Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 58. It will be a little bit gusty with gusts as high as 15 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 57. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 41. And on Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 57.
All right, we're back, and we should have Hans Miller on the line. He said he'd be calling in right about now. So, former sheriff here in Onslow County, retired after 8 years serving the public here as the sheriff, the chief law enforcement officer of the county, and that's what the sheriff is in any county. So, Hans, are you there yet?
No, no one's called.
Okay.
Well, we'll just give him a minute. He may be listening and waiting for the signal. So,
Okay. Yep. He should be calling. He sent me a message. So,
Okay.
should be calling in any second now. from the
okay,
333
that'd be
number.
great.
Do we have him?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. Anyway, one thing that's happening is Hans has kind of thrown his hat into the ring. He's hold on a minute.
Yes, he did throw his hat into the ring for that vacant commissioner spot. So if they open it up to the public, he can put his name in there and ask for votes. So,
Okay, having trouble getting through.
well,
Dang it.
yeah, we'll just tell him try it again.
I am.
There's nothing on there.
Okay, I mean, he's got the right number now.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Okay.
So he should be calling in. Let's see. And yes, anyway, he's with the resignation earlier this month, last week, in fact, Jack Bright from the Onslow County Board of Commissioners, he stepped down after more than a dozen years in there, 6 years as chairman. And we had him in yesterday. He's got some health issues he's going to have to resolve, and I know all about that. So that's the way things happen sometimes with people. Jack and I are approaching the same age, so things happen, and we have to get things repaired. And sometimes the rehab time frame takes a little bit longer than you'd like. And if you got lots of things to
He's
do,
calling.
like Jack does, then it makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, do we have?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hans
we
on?
have him on the line now.
Good morning, Hans. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, radio. How are things on the show?
Hanging in here, Hans, and I get to call you Hans again now, officially on the air. Always.
Yeah. No more titles, and you can call me KB4BI because, ham radio handle.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of folks may or may not know it. Hans has been a ham radio.
So anyway, I've been asked to call in, and I, complied with the request, and
Appreciate that.
so I'm
Anyway,
here for any
we,
questions or, thoughts or input or output, whatever.
I have a question. How does it feel to be retired?
Well, it actually hadn't changed a lot because I basically moved my work office to my home office and have to go through, the manuals and schools I've been to and, the things that I've compiled over the years. And I say, okay, what do I want to keep? What do I want to archive? Maybe write a book or something, or maybe not. and what do I want to pass on to people coming up, and what I want to just get rid of, because it's redundant. So, that takes a lot of time. But I'm also out in the community. Give you an example. Last night I was down at the Swansboro Veterans get together, and I hated that I missed another get together here in town because of that. But I was expecting to go to that one. So I like to be out among the people.
Well, I want to know, how many trips did it take, or did you rent a U-Haul to remove all the stuff out of the sheriff's office? Because you had 2 rooms full of awards and plaques and mementos.
Yeah, and I don't have enough wall space, so probably what I'll have to do is maybe just rotate it around, or maybe just put it in a box. But I think there's so many good memories that were attached to the some of the awards and some of the diplomas
Yes.
and plaques and everything. As a matter of fact, yesterday at the Crime Stoppers, I was honored. They actually called me up front, which was a surprise to me. But we had something going on at the country club, the annual meeting of the Crime Stoppers, and I looked down at the agenda and I saw my name on it. I said, "What? I didn't expect that." And they called me up front, gave me a very nice plaque about being a part of the Crime Stopper program, and but I give credit to the people that were around me, because I don't take personal credit. I give credit to the people. I'm a team player.
Right.
I'm a team builder and a team player, and it takes a team to make things happen. But you have to have a vision too.
Yes,
For
you
sure.
do.
Hey, Hans, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
You're kind of low on audio, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just crank it up just a little bit and see what happens. And anyway, Hans, you last week you and I were talking, and after Jack Bright tendered his resignation from the board a couple of years ago, or during just the last term, you had mentioned something about maybe seeking a position with the Onslow County Board of Commissioners back in 2024. But with Jack's resignation, you said, and you told me that this might be something you'd be interested in now. Are you still interested?
Well, it's not a might be. It is something I'm very seriously interested in. I did talk to Jack by phone, and I wish him well. He conveyed to me some things I cannot repeat, but the things that he has to face in January, and he's a good friend. And we didn't talk about any endorsement or anything like that. But I think in 2024 that was my goal, because my goal is service to the people. And I heard the previous commissioners, chair and vice chair, and I agree. We work for all people, regardless. When I was in office as sheriff, I went to different. And some even Democratic women went to their meeting because I was requested to go there, and I told them what how we manage and lead the office, and left there with some good feelings. So I'm a conservative. I'm philosophically conservative, patriotic, and constitutionalist, and everybody knows that. Everybody who knows me knows where I come from. But I also believe in the team and service, and taking it seriously to work for the people. And that's what it's all about. It's for the people, not for any one in particular.
Okay. As a commissioner, I assume you would have no problem working on the board with the existing commissioners?
Of course not, no. And one of the reasons that I have been going to the Board of Commissioners meeting, the sheriffs are not required. We're not part of the board, but obviously I have to be there and defend anything that comes on the agenda. And I did that, open myself to any questions that the Board of Commissioners may have or individual board members may have. But I think we have a good board, and it takes somebody that can fit in. And the issue of would there be a conflict of interest has come up. And I said, no, not in the day, because I think I am an independent thinker. Now, what I would do is I would create a vision, and then I'll bring it up to the other board members. And then they may say, well, have you considered this? Have you considered that? I say, okay, well, let me take a look. Let me do the research. that is the kind of teamwork that's necessary on a board. And I think both commissioners said it, and they were exactly right. It's the board itself that makes a decision. Individual board members will bring something up to the other board members, but it really takes good people, and we have good people, all of them. And you need somebody that will fit in, that will work with them, that will communicate.
Let's talk about your credentials here. You ran for lack of a better word, it is a department, but it is the sheriff's office. It is part of
Right,
the
that's right.
It sucks up a lot of money. You guys spend a lot of money. It's required.
Unfortunately, we have to.
Yeah, but you're in charge of a budget, you and your team, and you have to be able to
This is true.
maintain that. What the qualifications that you would bring to the board? Let's talk about those for a second.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Well,
What are your credentials?
I'm very stingy. When my staff came to me and said, "Can we get something, this or that or whatever?" I said, "Okay, let's sit down, let's discuss. Is it something we need, or is it something we just want?" And most of the time, my staff brought it to me. I said, "Can we do it a cheaper way?" I'll give you an example. We got grants. Now, people say, "Well, grants, that's still tax money too." But the grants are there. And if we don't take advantage of the grants in Onslow County, adjoining counties or, other jurisdictions will get it. So we certainly want to justify, is this a need? Give you another example. We were able to get a high water vehicle because of Florence. There were some areas that were inaccessible to our vehicles to rescue people. But we were able to get a high water vehicle, military surplus, and is now a part of Onslow County's fleet in case we ever have another unfortunate, well, I don't even want to say the H word.
Yeah, neither do I.
But we were able to get it for transportation costs. From New England, they brought it down. We were able to mark it with our logo on it, and is now sitting. And also giving you an example about teamwork, we work with EOC. We have a dive team and a rescue team and a high water, swift water rescue team. That is the kind of teamwork that we work with all people, all the other departments. Now, we're not a department, we are an office, but we work with other departments as well. And HR, IT, tax, and purchasing, and we like to be transparent.
Now, would
So
you give any
that
preferences? This would be the other thing that a lot of folks will ask. Okay, you were the sheriff. You're going to have some general ideas like, hey, that sheriff's office, it needs this and this and this and this and this. I'm sure you would go after whatever you could and explain things to the rest of the county commissioners. But would it be maybe too much above and beyond? Do you think that might create a problem?
No, it would be consistent with what I've done in the past, because my staff approached me with saying, "Okay, this is something we need." And I said, "Okay, let's sit down. You justify it." And Sheriff Chris Thomas is a good, he was my chief deputy. We had a good COXO relationship, and we bounced ideas off of each other all the time. But I would tell him, and I've told him that before, when you bring something to the board, be able to answer the hard questions. Like I do with the news media. I tell the reporters, ask me hard questions. I will give you what I can. I will withhold what I must to keep it out of the public eye for a jury,
Sure.
But I will give you as much as I can to keep the people informed. So I would handle that the same way. I would say, look, do you really need this? Can it be delayed? Or is there another way to get it? Is there a grant available? Have you explored those grants?
Okay, sounds good. We need to take a break here real quick, and I'm sure the ladies are going to have a question or two for you as well.
Yes.
But if not, I've got plenty of them. As you know, I'm always full of something. You're live in local Real
Ask
Talk.
me hard questions.
You're live in local Real Talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME are on the phone with us, and joining us again in just a couple minutes, Hans Miller. Don't go away. Where that noise is coming from?
I don't know what that is. That was weird.
You got some extra mic pots turned up in there?
Nope.
Hans, are you there?
I'm here. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure where. Oh, yeah, it's gone away.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
weird.
it was some kind of automatic noise maker put in there somewhere. You know how it is when people infiltrate. Hans Miller is our guest here in this segment, and he is a retired sheriff of Onslow County. He retired just a couple of weeks back after serving 8 years as the chief law enforcement officer of the county. We do
Yeah, we
appreciate your
accomplished what we
service.
set out to do.
Yeah, and we do appreciate your service and your prior military service, and also your work as a in both federal, state, and also at other local levels, such as the airport police chief. The first time I met you, so that's
I
you
think I
were wrong.
lost your voice a little bit, Rayford.
I'm sorry. Say again.
Try now. Rayford talk.
Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Now, yeah, now I can. Uh-huh.
Okay. Not sure what's going on.
I do. I know what that was.
We got a couple pots in the
Yeah.
wrong direction.
Yeah.
Hans, as the chief law enforcement officer or as the sheriff, let's just call it what it is. You were number one. Rank has its privileges, but also rank has its responsibilities. And
Exactly.
and it's that moving from a position where you were the top guy, moving to a position where you are equal with six other individuals, but where there's a chairman, kind of like the guy in charge. How difficult would it be, if at all, for you to fall in line with the other six individuals behind the chairman?
One word comes to mind: easy, because I've done it before. When you're with, I was with the SBI, but I was also cross-sworn with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, both credentials. But you work complex investigations as a team. Now, Sheriff, you have executive authority, okay? You make policy. But, I leave that behind because I'm going to give that to Chris. I have given it to Chris because he is so well qualified to take that position, because I know that. I'm very confident that he's going to be a great sheriff. But also, having worked on an investigative team, you have to be a team player and you work with everybody and say, what are the priorities? What do we have to do? What is more important than this over that? And that may be important as well, but maybe it would just take a back seat right now. So that kind of discussion needs to happen and needs to be transparent. The people have got to know that public servants don't do anything behind anybody's back. It's got to be out in the open. Now, obviously, legal issues or real estate deals, that they have to be kept confidential to make sure that the county gets a good deal. But then at the very end, you have to be able to justify your decision directly to the people.
Yeah.
So for me, very easy.
In law enforcement, and I understand this, and a lot of folks out there just do not understand it. When there's an investigation, there are certain things that are not to be told, especially things that would hinder the investigation. Sooner or later, they have to come out. In most cases, they have to come out, but there are certain things that you don't want to screw up a case because you got the legal system to deal with. But in the public's eye and something like this, you are the public's representative. You are the person.
That's right.
And like you say, there are three instances, one being personnel, one land acquisition, and one legal matters involving the county. Those are talked about behind closed doors in executive sessions or closed sessions. Everything else.
They must be.
Everything else is public.
That's right. I agree.
No hiding behind anything else, right?
Yeah, and when citizens ask you, what did you justify your vote on, look them in the eye, tell them the truth. That's the way I've been dealing with the news media, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 12. They ask me for an interview. I give it to them. I don't chase them. They basically ask an interview. And I said, ask me hard questions like I did to this show, because I think it's so important to be able to justify directly to the people what went into your thought process. Have you considered everything? Did you overlook anything? And did you talk to the other affected people? What went into your decision-making process? And, been doing that for years.
Of the existing commissioners, of the six that are on the board now, are there any conflicts of interest there that you can see?
None.
Okay. We talked about your relationship with the chairman, Tim, but he's your son-in-law. I've got a son-in-law.
Yes.
I'm just going to put this out there for personal reasons. I got a son-in-law. We don't always agree on everything. We agree on one thing.
That's
we
right.
Like to eat. We have food. We share food. And, my daughter does not like the way that I vote sometimes. She doesn't like the way that the positions that I take, but we get along just fine. That does not
Sure.
mean because you're related, even if it's not by blood per se, as in son-in-law, that you cannot be objective. I'm just putting this out there
That's
for the folks who feel otherwise.
that's exactly right. I am an absolute independent thinker. I like to take everything under consideration. I know Tim; he's a man of honor, and otherwise he wouldn't, Um, but he may bring a educational perspective to a decision. I will bring a public service um, perspective, and we talk it out. And I think Robin said it before that we may disagree on some issues, but it's got to be out in the open. You know, none of this. Well, we're family. We got no. That's just not right. It's incompatible with public service. It should never. Yeah. So hey, we disagree on something. He may vote one way. I may vote another way, and then at the end, we shake hands and said, okay, how's golfing? And I don't golf. He golfs. I don't have a boat. He has a boat. I have a motorcycle. He doesn't. There are differences, and those differences need to be cherished because you need a little bit of diversity.
Well, let me help you out. You need to buy one now. Save the
5,000.
Christmas.
I knew that was coming.
I think there's got to be a professional friendship, and one of the reasons I've been going to the Board of Commissioners meetings, even though I was not required, because I am interested. I am interested in what goes on, and I want to learn. I learned so much about zoning. I learned so much about the airport. Well, obviously, I used to be the chief at the airport, but some of the grants that were given to the county, and all the other things that are brought in front of the Board of Commissioners. I was there in the back room, in the back row, to observe and to maintain security and back up my deputy up front, and to learn. Learning never stops.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hans, I appreciate you taking time this morning. I know your time, even though you're retired, you've got a lot of things going on. Rearranging your house for one thing, as I am doing right now as well. So
My warehouse.
yeah, pretty much your warehouse. I've got that same situation going on, but we're doing what we can. But I do.
Yeah,
thank
I
you
think
for
I was
taking the
in your
time.
house maybe about 10 years ago, so a long time ago, and I stopped by and talked with you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
You
anyway,
you got to get on down to the ham shack now.
Right.
yeah, we'll talk ham radio. My favorite digital code is Morse code.
There you go. And there's one of those incoming callers from another part of the world, no doubt about it, want to sell me something like life insurance. Hans, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Hans.
Thanks,
Uh,
Hans.
Thank you. I'm here to serve the public, the people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Live and local, real talk, and we'll be right back. Oh, my goodness gracious, we're back.
We're back.
Boy, what a fast-moving morning this has been.
It has
Yeah,
been.
very much so.
I love it when we have lots of live and local real newsmakers on,
Mhm.
and we try to get to the topics that people have questions about, and,
Well,
and that's what we were.
We have a
hitting on.
caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Steve. I just want to call and say hey this morning. Tell y'all I've enjoyed it this week and hope y'all have a blessed weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out to Buddy John Jones over there. He's playing at the Carolina Home and Garden tonight, I believe.
Oh.
So anybody in that area, I highly suggest that. Really nice venue, and John's awesome.
He's a good guy.
Great songwriter too.
Mhm.
Yep.
And you're at the
But,
Borough tonight?
Yeah, he's in the Borough.
I'm sorry?
Tonight.
You're at the
Yeah, the
Borough
Borough
tonight?
tonight.
Yes.
Yep. And then the Borough Low Country has got another artist, Bob Laverty's going to be in the back restaurant. So there's going to be a lot of music down there this evening.
We got a twofer.
Is that the
Twofer,
Bob
yeah.
we know?
Right there.
Rayford?
Bob Lafferty?
Yes.
Don't know.
He sings. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway,
thank
just
you.
wanted to call in for the end of the show and tell y'all hey, and y'all have a good weekend, like I say, and
Thank
look
you.
forward to next week.
You too,
How early
Steve.
do you show up at the Borough before the performance?
How early did I show up? I'll probably be there between 4:30 and 5.
Yeah, I might even see you then.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to it. I hope you get out there, and happy to hear you doing so well, Rayford. You sound really good, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
So,
it.
you're welcome. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Oh, I don't know what we're going to do next week to top this week. We do have an invitation. I've got it out there right now with Senator Tom Tillis to talk about something that a little disturbing. What I read yesterday,
Mhm.
not being a Republican, but leaning conservative on a regular basis, which I thought most Republicans did. And I'm just like a little bit like, what in the world is your Republican Party up to, ladies?
I've got a lot to say about it, but we'll reserve it for next week.
We can talk about it next week. Maybe things will change between now and then.
And just to let everybody know, Monday we have Tony Padgett with the Animal Control, Onslow County Animal
We do.
Control is going to be in the house. And on
7:30, is it?
Yeah, at 7:30. And Tuesday at 7 a.m., we have Sergeant Timothy Sawyer from the Jacksonville Police Department is going to be in here discussing things that you need to look out for and how to be safe during this holiday shopping season.
Yeah, you got to stay
Mhm.
safe from those crooks that are out there.
That's right.
Crooks are to the left of you, to the right of you. And when you go shopping, please be careful. And there will be some other tips that we can give you as you go along. But here's one in case you forget it. When you get home, or you open up on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve, that big old screen TV or some really nice gifts. And then you
Right.
head off to grandma's house and you put your trash beside the road and you just advertise everything that you got for Christmas
That's right.
in an unoccupied dwelling.
That's right. Yeah.
Crooks do not take holidays.
You need to cut that box up.
Save it when you get back. Put it in the trash the night before while you're at home. Okay. Or
Well-
even 2 weeks later. Doesn't matter if you're going to be gone 2 weeks. Save it for 2 weeks.
Yes, that's a smart thing to do, but
Or put it in your neighbor's trash.
I'm sure you have lots of tips that you're going to help us all with.
Yeah, put it in your neighbor's trash.
Put in the neighbors. That's just wrong, Rayford.
All right, we'll have a great time next week, no doubt about it.
Yes,
Many
we
people
will.
come in armed and dangerous. I'm sure of that.
Right. Well, I've got a lot to say about that one subject, but
I'm sure you do.
I want to hear what Senator Tillis has got to say first before I make my
Wow.
comments.
Well, I think the whole thing is dumb. I'm just going to go on record by saying that, and it's opened my eyes up about some people. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
So
kind of surprised me a little bit.
Well, I think
Glass
we're
houses.
yes.
People who live in glass houses.
Yeah. All righty then. Well, I can't wait till next week.
yeah,
Have a great weekend, folks.
All
And
right.
we'll see you. The team will be here bright and early Monday morning. Well, it'll be early. I don't know how bright it'll be that time of day, but the days are still getting shorter.
Mhm.
Have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you on Monday morning. Don't forget the ball game tomorrow. It will be live beginning at 10:30 right here on live and live right here on. It's going to be right here on WSME.
Yes.
We know what you meant. Yeah.
97.1 and 11:20 a.m. and begins at the pregame coverage begins at 10:30. Kickoffs at 11 o'clock. We're talking about the game between our wonderful East Duplin High School football team. The
Yes.
Panthers are going to be taking on Reedsville tomorrow.
Oh, that's my neck. That's my neck of woods, and that's where what's his name is from? Our Richard. Yeah.
For the state's 2A football
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah. That's Rockingham
Yes,
County
sirree.
School. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Come
Those
on.
games
Yeah.
will be courtesy of the Golden Corral right here on
Yes.
WSME. You can, I know you won't be able to pick us up if you're up in that neck of the woods, but WSME971.com. It'll get it anywhere in the world. And you can also go to Simple Radio and just, download that into your telephone and click on, type in WSME and it'll take you right to us. Okay.
That's going to be
That's
a good
right.
game.
Oh, it is.
Right now,
Yeah.
right after Fox News break, live and local will end for the week, and it will be Sports Talk with Chris Rayner, his guest, Ken
Yay.
Lovell, with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Promises to be
All
an
right.
interesting morning. We'll see you on Monday. Have a
All
great
right.
weekend.